Guys, good morning and welcome to AskSpot Office Hours live help sessions. Feel free to unmute your mic or type in your question because this is where you can get live help. Any questions at all that you may have with AskSpot or anything that you may have encountered, you can drop it here on this live call. And additionally, we do live builds to show you how different AskSpot tools work in real use cases. You can also use these tools that we are building on the live help call, as kind of like a template. You can import it to your account, show it to a potential business or an interested customer. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be building something really, really cool today. So let's see. Hi, hey Dimitri, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really like seeing you guys here on the live call. So just a little bit on what we are going to build today. If you're on the school group, and you came across this post from David. So basically, it's the ultimate foot in the door offer, which is the AI training portal. So basically, this is what we're building today is about solving a real internal pain point every small businesses with staff faces, which is training new employees. And to demonstrate, we will be building a complete AI powered training portal for let's say, a fictitious business, like a small urban coffee shop, and like most real cafes. When a new employee starts, or maybe a new barista starts, the owner or or the manager spends hours repeating the same answers, like, how do I make a caramel macchiato? What's the Wi-Fi password? How do I process a refund? So instead of pulling stuff, instead of pulling the staff off the floor, what if the new hires could just ask an AI that's been trained on the company's real handbook, SOPs, and recipes? So that's what we're building today, a private, mobile-friendly, 24/7 AI training assistant that gives consistent, company approved answers instantly. So this is basically low effort, high value, and it's the perfect first project to get to get your foot in the door with any local businesses. So let's get going right now. And like I said earlier, you can view this post from David so that you will have an idea, or the use case that we are building right now. So let me go here to my AskSpot account. And again, for those of you who have recently joined, feel free to ask any questions at all, guys. Feel free to leave a chat or even unmute your mic. I'll be happy to answer any questions that we may have regarding this, or even just about anything in general about AskSpot. So, okay, so I just went inside a business, and this is where I will be building the AI employee training portal. So that's my Canvas business. There you go. And for the title, let's just say AI employee training portal and create. Just wait for that. Okay, let's click inside it. All right, so let's skip the sources for now. We'll go back to this later. So I'm gonna go here to settings, and over here on the general part, we will be modifying a few things like the logo. So I already prepared a logo. Let me show you right here. So it looks like that. Now let's click upload. Okay, so that's been added. And then for our title, let's use AI employee training portal. And then for our button text, let's just put this, um, launch training assistant, and then the link to this canvas. It will be the link to this canvas. Let me just grab that right here, copy this, then put it on the button URL. And as for the custom links, each business will be different, of course, but for this sample that we're doing right now, we're going to put their view weekly schedule. We're going to put their clock in and out portal if they have that. We're going to put where to request a time off, and we're going to put maybe a PDF of their company handbook right there. So let me just put the link, the relevant link right here. Enter URL. There you go. Time clock and PTO request and the handbook itself. Okay, so that's been added. Now let's save the changes. All right, so that will be for our header. I think next thing that we will do is our chat right there. So yeah, the canvas mode is enabled. You can also enable voice chat. So they can simply ask the AI. And as for our headline, we will be adding, welcome to your 24/7 training assistant. And for the initial message of the AI, let's make sure it's within 1,000 characters. And it will be this one. Welcome to the team. I am your training assistant, built using our actual employee handbook, SOPs, and recipes. Ask me anything to help you succeed on the job. So let's save that. Okay. As for the branding, let's remove that right now. That's fine. All right. Now let me just take a quick look on how it looks like now. So there's our headers. Here's our chat section. So let me quickly change that. I think I already have a few custom themes added in here. I think this looks better. So let's use that. All right. Next one, we will be adding the AI config, so, or the system prompt as we call it. So this is the general one that we have here in AskSpot. So let me just quickly remove that and provide a system prompt for the AI. So let me just show you right here the kind of system prompt that I added. There you go. Okay, so let me just format this correctly. There you go. You're a highly trained AI assistant. So we basically just explain what its role is, how it should respond. And then, if the answer is not found in your training documents, say, please ask your manager to clarify this policy. There you go. So let's save changes on that. And let's see here. Accuracy, let's set this to precise because we wanted to precisely answer from the document or the sources that we will be adding. All right. Next is, let's take a look at flow setting. I don't think we need a flow for this, to be honest. So let me move on to sources. Okay. So first thing that I will add is maybe a few Q&As. So, or you can also, let's do that on the text actually. So I'll just put Q and then A. There you go, right here. That's not what I want. Let me just get that real quick. There you go. So here's a few Q&As examples that we're going to be adding. So some of the frequently asked questions: what's the Wi-Fi password? What's the allergy policy? How do I clock in and out? How we can process a refund. Okay. So aside from this Q&A that we're adding, I think it's also good to add an employee handbook document. So I'll be using the text for this. This can be PDF also. There you go. And some opening and closing checklist right here. So opening checklist, clock in, and then the recipe manual. Let's also add that. Standard drink recipes for this fictitious business. And then a few quick guides. There you go. So add this to the chatbot. All right. Let's take a look here. So those have all been added. I think this is fine as a training source. Now let's take a look at channels. So I think for this channel, maybe we can, oh no, let's not add channels. Let me just check here. Ask me anything to help you succeed on the job. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's go to share now. And then as for the SEO, let's also modify the SEO settings for this. So AI training assistant for new hires, and then the meta description is this. Favicon image will, let's add the logo also that we had. There you go. AI powered employee training portal. Just wait for that. All right. Next is our open graph. Let's just put a title right here. So when it comes to social sharing, this is what they will see instead of the AskSpot logo right there. You're seeing right now. Let me use this automating training for your employee. Train new hires consistently, save time with AI powered onboarding. Okay, so that looks perfect right there. And as for our description, let me just put this. Save time and train staff consistently with a private, always on employee training portal powered by your company playbook. Save changes on that. Okay, so now let me do a preview. Okay, that looks cool. Let's ask it a few things. What's our allergy policy? Okay, let's see. What about tipping? Tips are pooled and split equally among hourly staff. Okay, one last question. Checklist. Let's see if it references that the document that we added earlier or the text that we added earlier. So expand that. Okay, opening checklist, clock in. Okay, so I think this looks good. With the canvas right here, you can even, just do edits in here, add a few things and then copy or download that immediately. So I think it will download as a text file right there. So yep, that's how it looks like. So that's our AI employee training portal. And if you want a copy of this, I will be posting this exact template right here to our school group, so you can go ahead and import it to your AskSpot accounts. So I will now be opening the floor for any questions that you guys may have regarding this build. Let's see here. Any questions at all? No questions. Okay, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for that. Dimitri says no questions. Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and let's wrap the call. So if you got anything at all, you know where to find me, guys. It's support@askspot.ai. I'm also on school group, so you can also send me a message there for anything that you may have. Um, that was awesome. You mentioned a flow, then said no flow. When would you do a flow? I usually do a flow whenever I mention it on the initial welcome message, like over here. Like ask me anything to help me succeed on the job. Sometimes I phrase it to be select any of the options below, and then those options are actually flows. So it all depends on, how do you want to format your initial, like, the initial message right here. So I think for this one, I don't think it's very relevant, because as a training assistant they'll be asking variations, different variety of questions. So that's why I don't think a flow is needed in that case, since this is like an internal tool. Does that answer your question, Deb?
Yes.
Okay, Awesome,
That was
awesome.
helpful. And then really quick, like when would you need channels or what would be an example of needing
For
channels
the
for this as well?
channels, yeah, I think for the channels, I mainly add those, especially if there's like a few quick buttons or like quick buttons that you want to add to the AI. Mostly we add that when we're where we built the AI or the training or the assistant to be client facing, customer facing, but this one's mainly for internal employee handbooks. So I don't think the channels will be relevant. Like as you can see here, we have few channels for form, which is collecting lead forms, for frequently asked questions, maybe for a website URL, maybe SMS if they want to send a message to the business, something like that. So I'm not sure that's really relevant on this use case. So yep, we're not adding that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. Anyone else maybe have any other questions? Okay, I think that's it for this Thursday. I will be posting a recording of this, guys, so you can watch it again or do a replay. If I'm, I go too fast sometimes. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I really really appreciate you. Bye bye.